very quickly go back in time 10 years, around about the year 2000. The state government decided to introduce an Integrated Planning Act. As a result of that, it put a large emphasis on local, regional councils to conform with major infrastructure projects and the ongoing development on the Sunshine Coast. At that time, we had developers that were trying to buy up all of our cane land, awaiting for this Integrated Planning Act, and thank God all of that was protected so that we had control mechanism for the entire Sunshine Coast. As a result of that, a plan was released 2000. That was our Bible as developers. Now, from that, we need driven people in our community, whether they be in federal, state or a local environment, but the local mayor that is doing what he is doing for the coast is huge. Whilst the infrastructure there was something that we had to grasp as a community so that we take control of where the hospital's going, the university's going, our major road infrastructures, etc. It's places like the hospital precinct that then there's the urban sprawl developers, people like Stockland, that secure large parcels of land and work with council to ensure that all of our infrastructure needs and the development footprint is what Sunshine Coast wants. Now, the entire hospital precinct, university precinct, the submarine cable, very all important elements to me, including the airport, because without those, we don't have that state-related infrastructure to bring people from interstate directly to the Sunshine Coast, or from overseas in that fact. So, with the master plan development that Stockland created, which I must say is sensational, places like the hospital precinct, it allowed that development to evolve with funding from various governments, but it allowed it to evolve to really start our Sunshine Coast pumping along. The Boccarina Beach development, 10 years on, finally released, well, that's how long it took. Now, from a Stockland point of view, it's the jewel in the crown. It's the jewel in the crown because it's oceanfront, and it links to the rest of the university precinct. It was only this year that finally I negotiated a deal to buy 3,300 square metres beachfront down at Boccarina. Now, I was very excited about that. The opportunity gave me to create something that was a cross range of stock, 1, 2, 3 bedroom apartments, all designed for owner occupiers, with a cross range of pricing from 370 up to 1.3. So it's those sorts of properties with the infrastructure, with all of the facilities they have to offer. Once a developer like I comes along and that's already in place for me, I've just got to create a development that suits our market and will sell in the environment that we're in. But I would like to say thank you, Stockland, for the master plan development. I think it's great. I think Hall's Contracting have done a great job down there as well. I'm excited to be a part of it. I thank everyone here for sharing this day for the unveiling. Oceanus, I felt, was unique enough to warrant special treatment, and I negotiated with John McGrath to be part of that marketing team with the view of selling Boccarina Beach because it's bigger than me, it's bigger than the development. I not only need locals from the Sunshine Coast, who I believe will get numerous of, but it'll, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, well, it's all happening. Now, I'd like to say thank you to the Mayor for all of the efforts, and I'm glad that I'm part of the Sunshine Coast. It's my home to see it all happen. Thank you, everybody. I'm very proud of the Oceanus development. I'm very excited about the inquiry that we've received. I'm excited about the McGrath team, and a lot of my associates that I have here, a lot of people don't realise that people that have bought stock from developers on the coast, they know who you are. You know, they're not going to come to forums and support you if you're a punter that doesn't give a shit, that produces something and, you know, runs. Well, I am leaving a legacy which I'm very proud of, and things don't change in my world. Designs get better. That's what changes. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and I'll pass you over to the Mayor.
Came up last night from that stressful, polluted, overpriced city in the south called Sydney, and unfortunately I brought one of Sydney's flus with me, and I thought at about 5 or 6 o'clock I'd go and stretch my legs and get some fresh air, and I walked down. It was amazing that every single person I saw was happy. And that for you as locals might not seem unusual, but I got to tell you, coming from Sydney in a big city, this is very unusual. And someone pointed out to me there was a public holiday that might have helped, maybe, but you know, there were young kids and families and retirees and people of all ages and all walks of life, and they were all just enjoying themselves here. And it made me it was a great thing for me to experience, because it just made me realise that this is what people that are buying into this development and this town and this region, this is what they're buying into. So Mr Mayor and Jared, thank you for coming. We think this is a really important project, as you obviously do through your attendance here, and Mark, you're a bit of an icon for me, because I wish every council we worked within had the same vision and purpose and get up and go attitude that Walter referred to as you have, because I think that's what's making this not a great place, because it was with or without you it's going to be a great place, but a greater place I think is coming. And I think from a real estate perspective, which is my obvious areas of expertise, I view this precinct as the best dollar for dollar market in the next decade anywhere in Australasia. In Sydney, if you equated it to Sydney, and it's not Sydney, but the lifestyle, you know, let's say you're wanting to buy a beachside apartment in Manly or in Bondi Beach or in Coogee Beach, or you know, another beautiful location in Sydney like we're representing here today, you'd be looking to spend $30,000 to $50,000 a square metre to buy into an equivalent luxury development. We're offering this afternoon between $6,000 and $8,000 in the main, and as you get up to penthouse a little bit above that, but $6,000 to $8,000 a square metre. So again, for a local, you may not see that as being extraordinary value. But someone coming into this market that knows what people are paying for equivalent lifestyles in Sydney and Melbourne, and even if you step away from the big cities to get a better comparison, and you look at the central coast of Sydney or Wollongong or one of those markets, you're still looking at price points that are in the $12,000 to $15,000 mark at very, very least for a moderate apartment. In Sydney nowadays, we've just eclipsed the $96,000 a square metre, which is international rates. That's as big as New York and Hong Kong and almost London, almost any of the other big cities. When you look at the infrastructure that has been the visionary infrastructure, not just the infrastructure, we're not just talking about roads, we're talking about submarine cables, and we're talking about solar farms, and we're talking about a whole range of things that I think anywhere in the country would be seen as visionary, and they're happening in our back door right here. For a real estate agent, this is like a dream come true. You've got a unique beachside location. Why do I say unique? Because if you were to fly across this area, southeast Queensland, you'd see the number of opportunities to develop a site 10 metres from the beach are almost non-existent beyond this. So we are very much in that unique territory, close to. Then you come across a developer that has a true vision, and it doesn't just build boxes on a piece of land to maximise their gross realisation and their profitability. Whilst the commercial outcome is important, Walter has a vision as to how people will live within the development. The people, because of the discussion he had in Sydney when he briefed us on this, he thinks about the lifestyle, he thinks about what people want, what people are not getting, what people coming from a house back to an apartment are wanting, and he caters for that. He's building sky homes, if you will, not units in boxes. But it's nice when you hear the consumer saying, I've been here for 2.5 decades and I've watched this guy put up quality buildings time and time again. I have no need to be reassured about the quality of this development. Property is the best way for people in the long term to make money. This is an exciting development. You know, Walter and Lisa and your team, thank you for including us. We love Southeast Queensland, we love the Sunshine Coast. Interestingly, 4 of our offices that service these communities are 4 of our fastest growing offices. A, they're great people, B, is this is a great area. So we are very proud to be representing it. We look forward, this is not a pitch to sell it, but if you want to buy one, please come and talk to us. Thanks, Jim.
Good morning, everybody. Walter and John and Jennifer, your very kind words, much appreciated. You've really left me with very little to say, but I won't let that stop me. This really is a milestone event, as has been indicated, as we unveil the plans and a scale model for Oceanus Boccarina Beach development. And what a time it is to be in business on the Sunshine Coast. And we've just heard John compare and contrast some other parts of the country. Projects like the hospital obviously are central to this particular area, and that investment has been very welcome and has got the potential to really drive us into a new era around health and the spin-offs from that. But also our university, Australia's youngest university, but Australia's fastest growing university. With a new campus being developed in Moreton Bay, you know, that's going to increase the capacity and output of that university as well. We're building our own CBD in Maroochydore, as you're aware, and of course our international airport. And again, for John will appreciate coming from Sydney, when the new Badgerys Creek airport opens, that will open up flying to so many people in Sydney now who think it's too much of a hassle to get to Mascot and try and catch a flight out of there. And the flights that will come out of Badgerys Creek and head north principally to places like Brisbane, the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast and Cairns and Townsville will really see a whole new era of people flying, and we're a perfect target market for that. On June 13, most intelligent community in the world will be announced in New York. There are 7 finalists. We're one of them. 3 Americans, 3 North Americans, 2 Canadian, 1 Taiwanese city, and the Sunshine Coast, the only Southern Hemisphere city in that final. So what a great achievement that is, win, lose or draw, to be recognised in that company. Right at the moment, and over the next decade, we've got $12 billion in investment in the Sunshine Coast major property game-changer projects that will transform the regional economy. And I'm sure all of you feel a lot better about the future than you perhaps did in 2011. Today's event is another demonstration of that confidence, and Walter's been through a number of these stages of development, and indeed is clearly always looking into the future about, you know, where the hills and hollows are going to be. Part of my job is trying to level those out a little bit. An $80 million, 107 apartment residential development at Stockland's Oceanside at Boccarina Beach. The new beachside development at Boccarina will provide high quality, mixed-use residential, retail and recreational spaces with public beach access and cafes, restaurants, tourist accommodation, parkland, new surf lifesaving club and community facilities. The master plan for the 30-hectare Boccarina Beach area includes an extensive network of walking and cycle paths connecting Boccarina Beach with the Oceanside Town Centre and indeed the Sunshine Coast Health Precinct. Boutique shops, cafes and restaurants, community centre and open space will be centred around the village park and be complemented by resort apartments, terraced homes and architect design homes. The Oceanus Boccarina Beach is the final residential precinct in Oceanside and occupies one of the last beachfront parcels of residential land available along the east coast of Queensland. So it's a high priority for the Sunshine Coast Council to support the livability of our region, and the projects like Oceanus play a critical part in achieving that goal. Private sector projects like this demonstrate that investors see the benefit in investing in the future growth of our region by providing low maintenance, family-friendly living options that are reflective of our beach lifestyle. I would therefore like to thank Iezzi Property Group for their continued commitment to investing in the Sunshine Coast and the future of our region. And it gives me great pleasure to be here today to help officially unveil the 3D model of Oceanus Boccarina Beach. Thank you.
Okay, so when you're ready.
put up here. Oh, wow, look at that. Fantastic.